I'm gonna need you to buckle up and stop trying to find the perfect man. Nobody's a perfect woman, so don't sit here acting like you're sitting around waiting to find the perfect man. Like you're already a perfect messiah of a human being. This narrative keeps you narcissistic and it keeps you lonely. In this video, we're going to talk about why the idea of a perfect man is a trap, how society pushes the never settle narrative to keep you chasing, why no one is a finished product, especially when you meet them, and finally, the accountability piece. Why love only works if you do the work too. Hey guys, welcome back to Thoughts by Keeks and welcome back to my bedroom. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for all the love from my previous video. Everyone taking clearly so much time out of their day to write such amazing, heartfelt, detailed, beautiful comments really means the absolute world to me. In order to sit here and say that you're waiting for the perfect man to come along, you are implying that you are a perfect woman. Okay, first we're going to touch on the lie of a perfect man. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. You're sitting here waiting for the perfect man to find you when you know yourself you are far from perfect. Have you ever met a perfect man? Have you ever met a perfect woman? Have you ever met a perfect anyone? I doubt it. Society sells us a fantasy of a partner. Someone who's flawless, someone where when you're with them, your love is effortless and there's never any issues in the relationship. This is just bullshit. The only place I've ever seen this relationship, and I know a lot of people in very healthy relationships, including myself, the only place I ever see this perfect, happy-go-lucky, never fighting, never having any issues relationship is in fucking movies. And what does that do? So everyone has this idea of this perfect relationship where love is effortless and they're never going to hurt me. And so what do? You throw away love that is meaningful because it's inconvenient. The second someone becomes inconvenient and has their own issues and has their own autonomous feelings and boundaries, you throw them away because my perfect man would never make me feel like that. Or in other words, if we're being more truthful on what you're saying when you're saying that, my perfect man would never expect me to take accountability. My perfect man would never dare insinuate that I can ever do anything wrong. That's all you want. If you're holding on to this idea of a perfect man and throwing away any man that is inconvenient or that has his own issues and his own boundaries, you're just looking for someone to give you validation. You're not looking for a real connection. And if you think you are, you're not aware of what a real connection is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I have to be the one to say it, but don't shoot the messenger. And the thing about this, guys, is love isn't found. Do you think all of a sudden everyone's just like walking around and then all of a sudden everyone who's in a happy relationship was just like, that one? Do you seriously think they went, that's it, that's the one, and then they connect and then they're in a relationship and they never have any arguments, never have any problems, and they just live a happy life? Love doesn't just appear into your life and then it's just perfect forever. Love is built. Love is a commitment. Love is a choice that you make every single day. You have to have these arguments and have these issues so you can iron out those wrinkles. And connection, real love, doesn't lie upon never fighting. It lies upon understanding your person, understanding what makes them tick, understanding what makes them triggered, and understanding how to fix it. So you guys are probably going to be really pissed at me that I don't believe in never settling. Again, don't shoot the messenger. It is a trap. It is literally a lie. If you never settle, you are literally wiping out. If you have a pool of potential people that you can date, saying never settle, you've wiped out all of them. Because guess what? Humans are not perfect. People are not born perfect. Ever. Everyone has a unique framework of how their mind works, and they have their own triggers, and they have their own habits, and they have their own flaws. Everyone does, including you. So if you're expecting everyone in society to never settle, no one would settle for you. I'm going to tell you exactly why this phrase of never settle is so problematic. It may seem empowering. You deserve the world. Obviously, you deserve the world. Everyone deserves the world. It sounds empowering, but really what it does is it creates chronic dissatisfaction. That little annoying voice in the back of your head going, never settle, the second your partner has an issue, never settle. Okay, kick him to the curb. Next one, you'll be happy for another like 3 months, I think, is the threshold before people feel comfortable enough to let out their flaws and let out their true selves. You'll be happy for 3 months, kick him to the curb, get a new man. That man will be great for the first 3 months. Rinse and repeat, baby. It's never going to stop. So if you want to find real love, if you want to find a lifelong partner and build a family, you can't have that annoying, lying, stupid voice in the back of your head going, never settle, because if you never settled, you'd never find love. And it's not even about settling. Like, let's get this word settle out of our mind. It's not about settling. It is about adapting. It is about solving. It is about understanding. And it's about having empathy for your partner. It's about understanding if your partner reacts and hurts you in some kind of way, that there's something there that triggered them to get to that defense mechanism, and you choosing to actively solve that with them and you choosing to actively love them through that and accept them even for their flaws isn't you settling, babe. It's you being a compassionate human being. If you never settle, you never commit long enough to grow with anyone. You never commit long enough to get past that point of arguments where I have a theory in relationships, there's a set period of time where you're fighting over and over and over and over and over. And that period is your guys' wounds getting reflected in one another. If you choose to utilize that and turn it into something good and alchemize that into stacks of evidence on why your relationship is amazing, you're going to literally understand that person probably better than you understand yourself, probably better than you've ever understood anyone in the world. And what happens when you understand that person? They're going to start to understand you too. And what is another famous quote? To be loved is to be seen. To be loved is to be understood. To be loved is to be known. Have you ever felt seen? If you're one of these girls or one of these guys that has that attitude of never settle, have you ever felt known? Have you ever felt seen? Have you ever felt understood in a relationship? If the answer is no, it's probably because you've never given them a chance to. Because you don't want to settle. If you don't settle for an imperfect person, you settle for loneliness. That's just the fact of the matter. And this is another societal consumerist loop, right? Like I spoke about this in my other video about how society wants to keep us distracted and society wants to keep us weak so we're manipulatable and easy to sell to. This is another aspect of that. If you're not happy with your partner, if you're always shopping around, if you're playing into this relationship dating consumerism scene that comes with never settle, your perfect man will find you, love is supposed to be effortless, love is supposed to be easy, you're never going to be united with someone and you are never going to have that solid foundation, that solid rock to where the things happening in the world aren't going to sway you. You're going to be alone, distracted, burnt out, easy to manipulate, easy to sell to, and promise this life of happiness as long as you succumb to your survival instincts, you succumb to your dopamine loops. Happiness of you succumbing to this idea that the perfect man, the perfect person will never expect you to change, will never tell you that there's anything wrong with you, will never tell you that you need to grow. Human beings need to grow. Human beings need to evolve. This is the truth about people, guys. Here, I'll tell you a little truth about people and another reason why this argument of never settle is absolutely illogical and makes no sense. It makes no logical sense. I'm going to start this off as a question. Are you the same person you were a year ago mentally? You know, your personality. Are you the same person you were 2 years ago? Looking back on your past relationships, were you the exact same person within them all? Probably not, right? Probably not. That's because humans are not static. Exactly what I just said before, human beings are meant to grow and evolve. Human beings are never the same person at any 2 points in time, ever. We are constantly learning. We are constantly taking in new information. Our brain is constantly rewiring itself for more efficient ways to be. We are never the same person. So trying to find the perfect man and never settling is so illogical, because the person you see at the beginning of the relationship isn't necessarily who that person is at their core. And specifically for my girlies out there, I know there's this huge stigma of like hating men and ripping down men. I just find it really ridiculous, because what men need in a relationship is admiration, respect. And if they're not given admiration, they're not going to be the same person. If you admire a man and you respect him and you encourage him in his endeavors in his life, he will adore you. Men need admiration, women need adoration. This is my lived experience as well, guys. I've been in relationships with men that have absolutely no reason to admire them, and so I wasn't acting like that, and so they weren't adoring me. And that's not their fault. That's not necessarily their fault. We were both expecting each other to make the first move and be respectful to each other because of our own egos, being like, okay, he wouldn't treat me this way. He wouldn't change the way he's acting towards me. That's the kind of attitude I had, so I didn't want to change anything I was doing, and guess what? They failed. The relationships failed. Every time. If you go into a relationship, which is a partnership, which is a duality, being like, I'm not going to change and treat this person better because they wouldn't do the same for me. Can you see the loop there? You're not giving this person your all because you don't think they're going to give you their all, and then they're not giving you their all because they don't think you're going to give them your all. Does that make sense? I feel like that makes sense. One man, we're looking at one man here, like just one random man. If that man is treated with respect, encouragement, admiration, this man will show up as his best self because he'll want to keep that admiration going. He'll want to give you more reasons to admire him and encourage him. That same man, same exact person, if you treat him with contempt, mistrust, and constant criticism, he's going to show up as his worst self. And why is that? Because if you're trying and you're just being met with contempt, mistrust, and criticism, what is the point? What is the point? I'm sure you've been treated like crap from someone in your life and they've been telling you things that's not true about yourself, and so you're like, okay, if you want to paint me as a bad guy, I'll be the bad guy. That's just how humans work. That's just how humans tick. So my whole point with this, guys, is perfect isn't something you find or someone you find. Because at the end of the day, human beings are all flawed and we are never the same person at one given point in time. And the whole point of being human and being in a relationship is to mirror each other so you can show each other your own wounds, and so you can grow together and be stronger together and be better people together. That is why society is trying to corrupt it. They don't want strong, independent thinking people. They don't want strong bonds between people. They don't want the people to unite, because if the people unite, then they're more powerful against the minor elites that run the world. That may be too conspiratorial for my audience, but how does that not make sense? How can we frame this into taking accountability? Because one thing I love to do on my channel is always flip the narrative into a way where we can look inward and try and reflect and see if we're acting right ourselves, if we even deserve this perfect man that society tells us exists. We want to flip it to accountability because society wants us to be the type of people where we're constantly sitting blaming outside forces for our issues. That's why we have the trauma card. That's why we have the dopamine. That's why we have these fake boundaries that are actually control dressed up. These are all videos I've made, by the way, guys, so check them out. I'll link them at the end of this video. So yeah, how do we reframe this? How do we reframe this so we make sure we're acting good? Stop asking, is this the perfect man? And start asking, am I being the type of partner that brings out the best in him? Stop looking outward. Disclaimer, by the way, this is obviously not talking about abusive relationships. I'm pretty sure it's a given. I'm pretty sure you guys could get that. Leave an abusive relationship. Like, don't allow people to outright like treat you like shit out of malice, but there's a difference between treating someone like shit out of malice and treating someone like shit because you're being defensive because there's a trauma response happening. If my partner starts yelling at me and doing some crazy shit at me, I'm not gonna like sit there afterwards and make him beg for my forgiveness. All I want is accountability and awareness of his own actions and to find out why he acted that way, to see if it's a reflection on me as well. So obviously this isn't about abuse. You need to ask yourself, is he doing this out of defending himself because he was hurt, or is he doing this out of malice because it makes him feel gratified putting me down? Because if it's a man that feels gratification from putting you down, stay away. Stay away. Don't settle for that. That's one thing you shouldn't settle for. Don't settle for abuse. Don't not settle for anything under perfect. That's the difference. Accountability means owning your flaws, owning your parts in the arguments, owning your behavior, making sure if you're acting right in this relationship, you're good. But if you're focusing only on what he's doing wrong and how he's not perfect and you're not even looking inward, maybe look inward and you'll see you're actually kind of a bitch. It's a hard realization, but a lot of us have to go through it. It's easy to get 3 months into the relationship when you start bringing out each other's trauma patterns, blame that other person, say they're not perfect, kick them to the curb and rinse and repeat this pattern. It's hard, however, to be in the face of conflict, in the face of an argument, realizing that that person's hurt and asking yourself what part you played in that. It's hard to look in the mirror, but guess what? The good things in life happen when you do the hard things. That's where the power is. When you're able to stare in the face of conflict and stare in the face of uncomfortable situations and know that you own your part. You're responsible for yourself. You're responsible for your actions. And that your intention with walking into this conflict and walking into this uncomfortable conversation is to come out the other side of it closer, more connected. Yeah, guys, so real love is not about perfection. You have to co-create love. You have to co-create a perfect relationship. It isn't just finding the perfect one, because if you're looking at this with the mindset of I need to find the perfect man, you're already assuming that you are a perfect woman, and that is incorrect. Nobody's perfect. So you are quite literally looking at all your past relationships and ignoring the fact that you're the common denominator. You're ignoring that. Real love only comes when you can trust that you can walk through the trenches of conflict and uncomfortability and arguments with your partner and come out the other side. When no conversation is too triggering, when no issue is too big for you guys to solve, it's us versus the problem, not me versus you. That is exactly what love is. It's not about never settling. Sorry to break it to you. Society so badly wants to break this down and make you think that you are perfect and you just need someone that is perfect too. You need to make it work with who you choose and who you love. You need to choose every day that you love that person more than your own insecurities. And society hates that, because when two people are so unified and so connected and so strong together, you can't manipulate them. Then you're trying to manipulate two minds with two different ways of thinking, two different perspectives, and two different ways of looking at things. And you can't really do that. That's way harder to do. And when someone is lonely, only focusing on how they don't have love in their life and constantly shopping around, chronically dissatisfied, just in this consumerism loop, swiping, left, right on these dating apps, thinking that if they just found the perfect one, it would all be okay. It's a lie. Wake up to it. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning into this video. I really hope it gave you some wisdom, and I want this to be my personal testimony that relationships never worked for me. It was a constant state of anxiety, a constant state of waiting for them to show their true colors and leave me, or show their true colors and hurt me. It was hard, and it is consuming, and it rips down your self-esteem. And society loves weak people. I hope you guys got a lot from this video, and thank you so much for tuning in. Subscribe, because I post a lot of shit like this. I post a lot of shit breaking down cognitive biases and breaking down common myths in society that are made to make us weak and alone. And yeah, if you want to start living a more healthier life, if you want to start feeling more mentally clear and more close in your connections, subscribe. And yeah, give this video a like if you enjoyed it. So I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.